Now we're gonna take a spin around here and go back north on Ravenswood. This is actually a real pretty stretch here.
Yeah, Ravenswood is one of those sleeper streets that has an awful lot of really attractive, unusual buildings along it.
Right. In fact, I think we just passed. No, here it is, the fire station. This is actually a single-family home here. So it's kind of a neat one to point out. So that was an old fire station. Couldn't have been cheap to do.
Probably almost 20 years ago is when this area really started redeveloping just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now they've tried to develop Irving Park Road with a lot more residential, but I don't think it's really taken as well as maybe some areas. It's really busy. It's 4 lanes. The restaurants have thrived, in some of the bars and retail, which I think it's made for. But the condo buildings, it's been a little bit of a struggle, I think, on Irving. So,
a great little stretch here.
Yeah, Cafe 28 was right behind us. It's a Cuban Mexican restaurant, and you have the redeveloped Irving Brown Line stop here.
I think the condos on Irving Park, surprisingly, shockingly to me, have taken off further west. Actually, when you get west of even Kedzie out there, the amount of condo development is pretty shocking right along Irving.
Yeah, there's a lot of development, but I wouldn't say that it is necessarily successful. However, if I'm shopping with buyers, I might advise them to try to get a residential street, unless they understand the discount they're getting and why on a busy street like this. And you might be able to get something a lot more modern, a lot larger on a road like Irving Park in North Center. But if you can, for easier resale or maybe a wider market, try to get on a residential street.
I think some of the streets up here in North Center, and we're just south of Irving here, would surprise a lot of Lincoln Parkers just by how pretty the streets are. And this is an area that really kind of stayed solid, working class, German to a large extent.
Yeah.
And it never deteriorated, went downhill like some parts of Lincoln Park, and most of DePaul had at one point.
Well, right. If you look at any development, it's very true to the neighborhood. Like these single-family homes, this is a brand new home that we passed that looks like it belonged in the neighborhood for years. You don't see a lot of those, if any, ugly new construction, just red brick, 3 flat, no thought of design.
Looks like we have wider than the standard 25-foot lot and parts of the stretch along here.
Yeah, I think depending on obviously the street, some will be 30s and some will be 150 length actually too.
These are great blocks. They're still unitary in architecture and design.
Mm-hmm. Loaded with 2 flats, and some 2 flats have been converted to single-family homes, of course.
I think it was about 10 years ago that the 2 flats and 3 flats in this neighborhood just exploded, and within a year to 18 months, doubled and even tripled in price.
Right, and
they went from the low hundreds up into the 300s almost overnight, it seemed.
Right. Even now, it's really difficult on an interior street here. If you're off of Addison or off of Irving, a 2 flat that's move-in condition is like actually livable, pretty nice place, no frills. Could be all original, but as long as it's livable, can still catch you 500 easy. So. And with any kind of improvements, updates, or even converted, to single-family home, obviously it goes up from there.
You can really see the dramatic influence on the corners and the architecture in this neighborhood.
Well, look at, there's something going on over here.
Whoa!
Yeah, this is an original building though, still the common brick, and they're doing the limestone facade on it.
Whoa! We're up in the. Is that going to be a single family?
I think so.
So we're up well above 2 million there.
Yeah, this was an apartment building, actually. So it's sort of rare. You don't see that often, where you have a multi-unit apartment building of 6+ units turned into a house.
It's almost a twin building on the west corner, is it not?
Similar. Yeah.
Similar.
And here is the, again, the popular Bell School actually is right to our left. So you're here at Oakley and down the street.
It's a block south of Irving, roughly.
Oh, it's Grace, sorry, Grace and Oakley.
Grace, oh, 3 blocks south. New construction there, off to our right.
Yeah, actually, you know, there's been a spike in new construction this year, and something I've been blogging about, a little bit about. So the money's flowing again. We've seen some gut rehabs and tear downs again going. Some infill projects going up.
Now, one of the things I've wondered at for people who are looking to buy a luxury single-family, land prices have come down substantially in the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
And doesn't that give you an opportunity to work with a design-build guy and get in cheaper than?
Well, you'll definitely, yeah,
somebody's resale.
I would agree with that. You can do it cheaper than you could the past 5-6 years. It's all relative, right? It's still going to cost you to do your own design build. Now you're going to get involved with architects, builders, delays, problems with construction. So it's not for everybody. However, if that's the dream, you know, and if you got the money to do it, it's really a wonderful end product that you can do.
I think people like me who've had a lot of experience in the business retain the dream of finding a trustworthy contractor.
Yeah.
It's a dream that doesn't die despite experience.
Yeah. Well, I'm fortunate enough to...
It's what Oscar Wilde said about marriage. It's the triumph of hope over experience.
Right.
And we still have some condos for sale there, it looks like.
Yeah, this was a huge development, but there's kind of a twofold. This is senior condos, but then there's also behind it
This was the old
marketplace too.
The old hospital property, right?
Washington, right? Martha Washington. But it's nice to see senior housing available here. And here's St. Ben's, of course, very popular church and Catholic school.
Very well-known church that's had a neighborhood named after it.
Yep.